I was in Hong Kong, and I took all our staff out for a party with a famous English cricketer. Called Ian Botham. And there was two dentist chairs, and the staff strapped us both into these dentist chairs, and they just poured tequila and stuff down my throat. And I remember, just like you said, I remember stumbling back to my hotel. I knew I was on the 60th floor. And I got to the 30th floor, and I kept pressing. And then I got out of the lift. I said to somebody, I'm trying to get to the 60th floor. They said, there isn't a 60th floor. Look, I said, my key. Anyway, it turned out I'd gone to the hotel, which was the same name, but it was the other side of it in Hong Kong. Yeah, it was painful. Just there, and you desperately want to have a sleep. But, I'm getting a bit more sensible as I get older. That was definitely something that happened between my 20s and 30s. I should have one that's not a. Anyway, we'll start with that one.
No, that was great. So, when you founded Virgin Group, you came into the dark with a light of inspiration and the need to make change. If you were to call yourself in 1975 and give yourself a 30-second piece of advice, or if you were to call yourself and talk to yourself for 30 seconds, what would you tell yourself as far as your journey?
So where is that? I'm 25 then. So where are we? 56. Yeah, 25 years old. Okay. Well, I've had such an incredible life since I was 25 that I honestly wouldn't change a thing. I mean, I think I would just say, you're doing okay. You're having a lot of fun. Carry on as you are. Carry on saying yes and not no. It's a lot more fun than saying no. Get yourself into lots of trouble. Try to get frustrated. Try to make things better. Try to change the world for the better. And keep creating. And sometimes you'll fall flat on your face. And, pick yourself up and keep and keep trying again until you succeed. And I suppose my "screw it, let's do it" mantra, I would have said, don't change it. It works.
Okay. So one of your stories that is just awesome as far as like parenting and whatnot, where your mother dropped you off and you were 5 miles out and said, go home, find your way to your grandmother's, right?
Yeah.
The question is, as millennials, as parents, as brothers, sisters, mentors, teachers, what do you think is a way to instill those values of risk-taking, integrity, and living life as an adventure to students and to people?
Well, first of all, I think trying not to use the no word too much with your children or your grandchildren. Don't. We call it in England, mollycoddle them too much. Let them fall flat on their face on occasions and pick themselves up. And actually, kids are infants are good examples to adults. I mean, the kid will fall flat on his face, and they will pick themselves up straight away, and that's what we have to do as adults as well. So I think let young kids learn from their mistakes, and let them get dirty, and let them climb trees and rescue cats, and obviously if they're gonna do something which you think that there's a real danger they could fall and break their neck, then that's the time to step in and thank you and say something. I mean, the only time I think I remember, I think I did actually slap him, and I've never slapped my kids in my life, was when my son ran across the road without looking. But you just save up your you're real disquiet for something where they're going to put their lives at risk. Otherwise, let them have a pretty free rein. And and my kids are now doing things which worry the hell out of me. But climbing the Matterhorn, or some of them they bring me along. I would hate to say no to them.
Right. Wow. So, legacy. You've clearly set out an amazing legacy. What was your vision for the legacy of your company when you started, and how has that changed?
I think when you start something, you don't think about legacy. You just think about creating a brand that's making a real difference and you can be proud of. And after 50 years of doing that, I think I would love to see Virgin continuing for the next 50 years. Fortunately, I've got two great kids and a wonderful team at Virgin, and I think when my balloon finally bursts, the spirit of Virgin will continue. I mean, I used to use myself to promote the brand a lot. Now we push Virgin rather than pushing myself so much, and Virgin can stand on its own 2 feet without me doing foolish things all the time. But I think the real legacy is the kids, the family you bring up, and family and friends, and memories with them. It's not the sort of it's not what you've done in your life necessarily. It's how well you brought up your family, how close you all are. I've been lucky. I've been together with my lovely lady for 40 years, and that's held the whole family together really well. And so we've been a fortunate family, I think.
So, how important do you think it is for millennials to cultivate the entrepreneurial spirit or entrepreneurial spirit within a company?
I think it's so much more exciting if the company encourages that for everybody who works for a company, and companies need mavericks. They need square pegs, and they should be encouraged. I'll give you one extreme case. I mean, there was a real maverick lad who worked for me when I was in my early 20s, who ended up stealing from the company and stealing records, and the local record shop phoned me up anyway, brought him back, had a word with him, and told him it's not a good thing to do, and gave him a second chance, and he was so grateful that I hadn't sacked him that he went on to being our most successful artist, repertoire person. He signed Phil Collins, the Rolling Stones, Culture Club, so sometimes with mavericks, they can be a pain in the butt, but every company needs mavericks, and they need entrepreneurs as well as a company can get very boring if it doesn't have entrepreneurs working within the company. And the skill of a company is to encourage people who could be entrepreneurs in their own right to stay within the company and do their entrepreneurism within the company.
About 5 minutes, if that's okay.
Okay. So that actually leads into our question. We did research and knew that story. Why do you think second chances are so important?
I messed up when I was a teenager. I exported some records, ended up back in the UK. I didn't have to pay the tax on them. I got caught, and I could have been in real trouble. I mean, I was lucky that we managed to settle with the taxman. But I could have gone to prison, and there's an awful lot of people in prison today who, in my opinion, shouldn't be in prison in the first place. An awful lot of minority groups in prison today. I'm vehemently anti the war on drugs. I think it's done so much more harm. My new slogan is "Just say no," but spelled K-N-O-W. Know the facts.
Thanks. Love that.
So what we've found is that where we take somebody from prison and give them a job at Virgin, none of them reoffend, and that benefits society because that benefits the individual. And so we're busily trying to get as many companies as possible to take people who come out of prison, giving people a second chance. Our train company in England has 30 ex-prisoners, and they're hoping to get up to 100 relatively soon. We've got somebody who's in charge of credit control at Virgin Trains, who's an ex-prisoner. We've got people who come out from prison at weekdays and then have to go back at weekends, who are in important positions at Virgin. And the trouble is, America has the reverse psyche. If you've messed up in your life, it's almost impossible to vote. It's impossible to get a job. And it's just all the cards are stacked against you, and which is foolish.
What do you think is a consequence of not evolving?
Well, I think the wonderful thing about the world right now is that, thanks to entrepreneurs, the world is evolving rapidly in a positive way. And I mean, every 10 years we've got 600 million more people coming out of the poverty trap. We've got less diseases. Slowly but surely they're being conquered. We've got less famine. I mean, if you read the headlines of the newspapers, you'd think the world was falling apart, and obviously Syria's been a nightmare. But but taking Syria out of the equation just for the minute, most of the rest of the world there's lots of problems, but is moving in, I think, a positive direction. So I think these these adults, young adults, lifetime, it can only get better, but I think they can all help make it so.
One more question? Anybody?
Yeah, I have one. So, I mean, you just touched on it. We live in a world that's constantly adapting. It requires constant adaptability, but it also is constantly evolving. How has change changed you? Whether it's technological change, social change, innovation, professional change, how has it changed you?
It's given me a lot of freedom. I mean, just having. Thank you, Mr. Jobs. Just being able to have the iPhone or the iPad means you can work from anywhere. I used to have to lug suitcases full of, letters everywhere I went, and then have to laboriously go through all those letters. And it was, for years and years and years. That's the way it happened. So technology has just made it possible to live anywhere, work anywhere, get out and experience your companies, experience other people's companies, spend time with family, spend time with friends. I mean, it's freed us all up a lot, I think. What kind of businesses? Are you starting businesses or looking at starting businesses?
Yeah. I'm currently a co-founder of a higher education crowdfunding platform. So we're like Kickstarter, but for college tuition.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, we should be launching in January.
Good luck.
Thank you.
I started a company called Safe Halo. So what we do is on college campuses, to reduce sexual assaults on campus, a student at that university can request 2 students, we call them Halos, to walk them home, judgment-free. We don't wear uniforms or anything. So we launched in September, and we've had so many students using it, and the response we've gotten is this is so much better than campus safety. So we're trying to kind of
That's brilliant.
radically innovate in a pretty old system of.
Great idea.
Yeah, appreciate it.
They have you used nurses when they're off work or anything like that?
No, we actually use students. These are student volunteers.
Oh, I see. Student volunteers.
They're really
Okay.
passionate about
Yeah.
ending sexual assault on campus,
Okay.
and so without wearing uniforms, we kind of use like an
Right.
Uber back end, but it's
Okay.
really simple, and students really love it
Yeah.
so far.
What do you both do?
So I actually work with Google, so mine is more kind of
Okay.
entrepreneur. So our program is to bridge the digital divide. So looking at how access of technology can affect someone's health, understanding how to apply for school, things that we all take really for granted, but people may not realize that about 1 in 5 people either don't have access or know how to use technology.
Yeah.
So how we can bridge that in our community. So there's 10 cities that host the program, and I oversee it globally.
Yeah.
So I have a radio show segment called Woke Radio, and
Okay.
we basically talk about what we're talking about today.
Okay.
We try to inspire people, and we engage and educate, and we try to get people the entrepreneurial mindset and try to.
So you must be learning a lot yourself, listening.
Yeah, I actually have learned a lot from
Yeah.
myself. Actually,
Brilliant.
spitting this message out and
Yeah.
trying to live by my own words.
Yeah, wonderful.
I've designed products before, but now I'm actually looking into millennial luggage. So
Okay.
basically breaking this mold of luggage and doing, intro research, but at this point you have luggage is very expensive,
Yeah.
the margins are marked up, and these aren't even quality pieces, and believe it or not, you can just stab a pen into a zipper and open it up and steal whatever you want out of it. So making a product that's low cost, made responsibly, with location services, but not all these crazy features that people are putting into it. Just keep it simple, and if you lose it, you know what? Yeah, you lose, clothing, and you might lose a few items, but you can, replace clothing,
Yeah.
replace a piece of luggage. You don't have to go out and buy, $200 piece of luggage. So.
Brilliant.
How did your success change your circle of friends? We're all.
I still go on holiday with the same friends we had before we were successful as and now they're children yes, I think you'll find that it's great to have those old friends that you knew before you were successful, but equally, a lot of friends obviously I've made since I was successful. But,